The power of Christ compels you.
Say what?
The power of Christ compels you.
Well, when you put it like that.
From Hollywood. Welcome to the Rat's Ass Podcast with Mojo Elliott.
And happy unofficial horny weenie.
It's just about enough of that.
Oh, God, get my mother out of here, please. From the Mojo Studio and Ballroom on Sunset and Vine. Here comes another action-packed adventure, whether you like it or not.
Let's do it.
All right, here's what's on tap on the Wrap. Has holiday burnout started before we even get started? I've laid down the challenge, and now we wait. And when should you put that damn cell phone down? I have an idea for you. We may or may not have a cat fight brewing and coming soon. And have you heard the word of the year yet? Wait till you hear this one coming up. Another round of hit trauma's on the way. On deck as I start it and you finish it, plus our usual lunacy and loose behavior, including Mojo's fucking funny. That's what's happening on the Rat's Ass Podcast for Thursday, October 30th. Thanks for being here. Now, before I forget, remember to set your clocks back an hour when you hit the sack on Saturday night. You'll get a whole hour of extra sleep. Won't that be fun? Now, the quest to build the Deep Cuts category continues on Rat's Ass Rock TV. We're up to 235 tunes thanks to your emails. But now, it's time for me to take over, Rover. I'm going to go A to Z and start populating the category with deep cuts from the most popular bands. Then we'll go back and round out the rest. But please continue to send your emails to ratsasspodcast@gmail.com with your deep cut suggestions. Yeah, we're going to have a good category here. If you haven't checked it out yet, connect on our hub at ratsasspodcast.com. Also, No News November starts on Saturday, November 1st. That means we're taking a break from the political content here on the Rat's Ass Podcast for the entire month. The idea is to focus on the holidays, putting you in a good mood, have a good Thanksgiving, and taking a break from the insanity. It also means more sexual content coming your way.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
All right, let's get into the wrap, shall we? Are you ready for Halloween? Are you stocked up on candy? Do you have your costume ready to go? I read a report this morning that said only 51% of adults plan to dress up. Boy, that's way down from previous years. Another survey said 63% of Americans are not looking forward to the holidays this year, which led me to wonder, are we finally getting burned out on the whole idea of celebrating holidays? Because let's face it, they've all been way over-commercialized. We have to act a certain way. You have to eat a certain food. I will tell you that in my family, we got away from traditional ways of celebrating years ago. Now, for an example, we already have the menus ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we do something different every year. I mean, the traditional meal rolls around maybe once every 3 to 4 years, depending on what we feel like. For an example, this Thanksgiving, we're going to do Mexican cuisine and Italian cuisine for Christmas. That's just the way we do it. And as of today, we may or may not put up Christmas decorations. That has not been determined yet. So that's how things are shaping up for the holidays at Mojo Manor as of now. But how are you celebrating your holidays? Let us know at ratsasspodcast@gmail.com. You know, without the politics, we need something to talk about. So send us your notes. All right, I've laid down the challenge to our slumlord Governor Gavin Wonderbread Newsom, to play a game of one-on-one, but he hasn't taken the bait yet. So it's going to take some more goading, I think. I posted a video challenge on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. Have you seen it? It's still up there. You can check it out if you want. I also sent him an email. I got a hold of his email address and sent the challenge. I even said, hey, you know what? We could do this and raise money to help the homeless. You know, he's been trying to solve that problem for more than 20 years. And one of our Rat Nation members sent me a direct office line for him. But I had the promise not to give it out on the podcast, or I'd find myself hanging from an oak tree naked with a cactus shoved up my tuchus. So, but in fact, he might even be in his office right now. What do you think? We try to give Gavin a call. Get his number up here. Busy. That figures. Probably takes the damn phone off the hook so nobody can leave him a message. So I may have to get more creative here, too, to get a hold of him. Okay? But I was asked the other day, okay, if you're going to play this game, what are the rules going to be? I'm going to propose, if he takes the bait, standard street ball rules. Where I grew up in Pittsburgh, it was no autopsy, no foul. None of this, call a foul every time you miss a shot. It'd be something like a game to 11, win by 2. I'll let him decide if he wants to play make it, take it or not, but I'd prefer to abolish it. But I have this vision that we're playing this game, right? I've got Newsom posted up, and as I turn to take a shot, the old elbow accidentally goes, cracks him in the jaw. Then we'd see what kind of a hustler he is. All right, Fleabag also suggested that we play a game of Wonder Bread or mac and cheese instead of horse if it comes down to that, which makes perfect sense to me since he's grew up on mac and cheese and white bread, white Wonder Bread. But the reality is here, gang, we have a small chance he'll take the bait on this one. I mean, there's nothing really in it for him, unless he does take us seriously on the charity angle, which I doubt he will. But it is money he could steal. Maybe he will. Who knows? But there's a lot more in it for me. Let's face it. Just the publicity from it would be fabulous for the podcast. But either way, I am going to have a good time dogging the SOB over this. All right, a hot debate developed this week in the news and social media about checking messages and emails while in a meeting at work. Now, to me, there should be no debate. Cell phones should always be turned off when you're in a meeting. No exceptions. When I ran meetings, I never had a problem with this, with staff checking their phones with messages and email, because I had 3 requirements that had everybody agree to and buy in up front, and they were 3 things. Be on time, pay attention and participate, and turn off the phone. That simple. Now, in return, I kept meetings short and to the point. There was none of this, hey, what'd you do over the weekend? Or share pictures of the family vacation crap that gets played out in a lot of meetings. We just stuck to business, got it done, and moved on. Maybe if everybody did it this way, there wouldn't be a problem. Now, this is good. This is real good. There is a catfight brewing between women's rights activist Riley Gaines and Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, also known as AOC, because God forbid anyone has to strain themselves saying her full name. But it started when Ocasio-Cortez went after Gaines on social media and popped off saying, maybe if you put this much hate into your swimming, you wouldn't have finished 5th, regarding the time she lost to the guy dressed up as a woman. Okay, Gaines was talking about men participating in women's sports too, by the way, which Ocasio-Cortez fully supports. Gaines then challenged Ocasio-Cortez to a little debate. And at that point, the Congresswoman ducked Gaines by saying, why don't you get a real job? Now, see, this is what lefties do. They want to act tough, but when you call them out, they back down and run scared. I've always said the only way to beat a bully is to bully the bully. So we'll keep an eye on this one to see if a possible catfight is about to ensue, though, all right?
What is so appealing to men about a catfight?
Yeah, catfight.
Well, for the same reason you ladies like to start bar brawls with men. And you do. All right, Dictionary.com has released its word of the year for 2025. Wait till you hear this one. And it comes courtesy of the up-and-coming generation Alpha. The word is 6'7". 6'7". And it's basically slang for so-so or maybe this or maybe that. Used in context, it would be, how was your day? 6'7". Or if you're in a restaurant and the waiter says, how's your meal? And you go, 6'7". My generation, though, still prefers 6'9".
Clench up your butt cheeks and say 10 Hail Marys. This one's gonna hurt.
That's a bingo.
Here's Mojo Elliott with Rat Sports.
All right, the Toronto Blue Jays are 1 game away from winning the World Series after they smacked the LA Dodgers 6-1 last night. Toronto led off the game with back-to-back home runs, and the Dodgers, they were done after that. Took the gas right out of LA. Game 6 happens tomorrow in Toronto. And if necessary, Game 7 would play out on Saturday, also in Canada, Toronto. First World Series in 30 years for those guys. All right, we've got Thursday night NFL action tonight between Baltimore and Miami. A couple of hideous teams now, but when they made the schedule, looked like a pretty good game on paper. I got Baltimore in this one. Here are my Week 9 NFL pick money games for you, the 4 money games I give you every week. I am 25-7 overall this season. All right, I've got Detroit over Minnesota, Green Bay over Carolina, the LA Rams over New Orleans, and Dallas over Arizona. Got it? Detroit, Green Bay, Rams, Dallas. Winners this week. All right, checking the chat box at ratsasspodcast.com. Luke Hastings, Fresno, California, said, how you feeling about the Raiders signing Tyler Lockett? Well, you might remember a couple of weeks ago I said that's what the Raiders should go do. Tennessee released him, and they went and picked him up. Him and Geno in Seattle. they were dynamite. So if they can kind of relive that memory, it's a plus. You got Brock Bowers coming back. Things are looking up for the Raiders right now. All right, Mike Tennis, Twin Falls, Idaho, said, I'm curious to find out what you thought about Toronto walking Shohei Ohtani 5 times in Game 3. Baseball is a game of strategy. I know there was a big conversation about this and how it was weak on Toronto's part. Well, it's part of the rules. So if it's part of the rules and it's legal, it's part of the strategery. But seriously, there are those who like baseball because it's a game of chess. Now, if you're into checkers, I know that's going to piss you off. So if you're a chess player, you love it. If you're a checkers player, you hated it. And that's sports for you today on The Wrap.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right, let's play a round of I Start It and You Finish It. Let's see if you can figure this one out. When it comes to a man's looks, 68% of women say they could care less about what his blank looks like. When it comes to a man's looks, 68% of women say they could care less about what his blank looks like. All right, think about it, kick it around, and we'll have the answer for you coming up on the podcast.
It's time for some loose behavior on the Rat's Ass Podcast.
Yes, it is. It's time for Mojo's Fuggin' Funny. Now, I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this guy's name right or not, but I really don't give a rat's ass. He should have shortened it to begin with. But no, he wants to have the longest, hardest name to pronounce in comedy. Instead of something short and sweet like Stanley Mann, this is Sebastian Maniscalco, or something close to that.
This is always a problem. Going to your local pharmacy to get medication. I don't know why. You give your slip to the pharmacist. He always looks at it. He's like, oh. It's going to be about another 25 minutes. If you want to walk around Walgreens. About another 25 minutes. And I'm like, it's right there. But you never question the pharmacist. You're always like, oh, okay. I didn't take the walk. I stood my ground. I go, you got it, right? He's like, yeah, we got it. I go, why I gotta walk around? He's like, there's people ahead of you. I go, no, they're not. I'm staring right at you. Where are they? He's like, they're walking around Walgreens. What?
Hey, heads up. Here comes your celebrity cheese.
All right, Wolfgang Van Halen's band Mammoth released a new album this week called The End. It's his third album in 5 years, and it's as solid as his first two. You can also check out an interview with Wolf on Rat's Ass Rock TV right now. And, by the way, forgot to tell you, the Best Of series continues tomorrow with Metallica. Now, if you headbang, wear a helmet. The noggin gets softer as we age. Isn't that right, Ace? May you rest in peace. Just in time for Halloween, the poster and trailer for Scream 7 has been released. The movie is due out the end of February, right after Valentine's Day, which makes perfect sense for a horror film, doesn't it? Sydney Sweeney showed up at, with her tatas hanging out at the Variety Magazine's 2025 Women of Power event last night. She had men's tongues wagging and white liberal women gagging all night long. And Cheryl Hines, who played Larry David's wife and ex-wife on Curb Your Enthusiasm, spoke out about her strained relationship with David after she married Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and went MAGA. He wasn't happy about it. Cheryl said she hasn't talked to David in quite a long time. And, Larry's a well-known liberal lunatic. But she says she still has love for him and hopes they can mend the fences at some point. Well, Larry is 78, so if there's any mending to do, I'd get after it. 78 with TDS can't be good. It appears our girl Britney Spears has been getting out and socializing more these days, which means Britney's in season and on the prowl for a new man. Oh, that's good news for us, isn't it? Because she's now been single for 251 days.
Who gives a rat's ass?
Rat's Ass Podcast. Email from our Gmail.
All right, this is where anything goes based on your questions, comments, and observations. Paul K., Gainesville, Florida, wants to know, what is the coolest Halloween trick you've ever pulled? Geez, Paul, off the top, can't really think of the coolest one off the top, but I'll share my favorite with you, and it goes back to when I was a kid. I kind of did this like every year because I lacked creativity when I was a little boy. But we take a man's wallet, stuff it with fake money with a couple of real bills sticking out, and attach a hook to it to a fishing rod. When somebody tried to pick it up, we'd pull it away just enough so they'd chase it. It was like the wind blew it away, right? And after a few attempts, we'd let them catch it. And when they'd look inside, of course, the money was fake. And they all got ticked off and threw the wallet away. Then I'd go retrieve it and do it again and again and again. It was kind of a gift from my older sister who got it from our older brother. I kind of felt like, you know, that episode of Seinfeld where Jerry steals the marble rye. That's what it kind of felt like. Gabe S., Yonkers, New York. Why aren't you willing to give Laurent Mamdani a chance? He sure as hell can't be any worse than Adams or de Blasio. Oh, yes, he can. You know, I agree with this argument that if a billionaire is making so much money and he has employees who are having a hard time making ends meet on their salaries, maybe the billionaire takes the pay cut. But, you know what, socialism has never worked anywhere in the world because eventually you run out of other people's money. You've heard this, and it is very true. Plus, like California, you're going to see the wealthiest that provide the biggest tax base move out. Then who's going to pay for all the free stuff? This guy's never had a job. He's got some cockamamie ideas his father filled in his head, and now if he wins, New York becomes an experiment. Yeah, so think about that, though, guys. All right, Lisa G., Kearney, Nebraska. A poll out this week says 70% of Americans think the Democratic Party is out of touch. Do you agree? Well, the scary part is 30% think they're on point. Now, first of all, there is no more Democratic Party, okay? The socialist movement has hijacked it. The Democratic Party I grew up with was the John F. Kennedy Party, okay? That was the ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country Democrats. That's today's Republican Party, by the way. In essence, there is no Democratic or Republican Party anymore. As everybody remembers them growing up, there was a socialist party and there was a capitalist party. And I am a true capitalist, baby, all the way. I'm a libertarian who believes in personal freedom, limited government, and capitalism. But the difference is, I agree with the fact that if you're a billionaire and you have employees who aren't making ends meet, you know, take a break, man. Take a break from bonuses, the CEO bonuses, and take care of the people coming up the ranks, because without the guys doing the dirty work, you're not a billionaire. You dig? All right, Alan B., Elko, Nevada said, on X you said you don't drink water or wine. How in the hell do you not drink water? I just don't like the taste of plain water, Alan. I really hate it. I've had it, just don't like it. So when I'm forced to drink water, like if I go to the gym or something like that, I just drop a little lemon ice cube with a little lemon stevia in it. Kind of tastes like lemonade. It's pretty good. But that's as far as I get to water. All right, Tanya Z., Shreveport, Louisiana. Oh, she has a dating dilemma. And she writes, what's the easiest way to break up with a guy you've agreed to marry but changed your mind? Well, there's no easy way out. It's got to be the Jerry Maguire approach. You got to do it in a public place, making it less likely he'll make a scene. You want to tell him straight, hand him in the ring, and immediately get up and leave. The longer you linger, the more likely an argument will ensue. And if he starts to follow you out, head for the ladies' room, crawl out the window, and scram. All right, here is today's Kiss Me, Kill Me email, telling me what you like and hate about the Rat's Ass podcast. Layla P. in Texas City, Texas says, she said, I like the way you come out of the left field with your comments, your left-handed comments. You remind me of my father that way. What she hates is, I know you're going to keep doing it, but I hate sports. You're right. We're going to keep doing sports. All right. If you have any questions, comments, or observations, send them to my producer, Fleabag, at ratsaspodcast@gmail.com. All right. Let's get you into the head trauma answer.
Rat's Ass Podcast. Head trauma.
All right. Let's see if you figured out today's I Start It and You Finish It riddle. When it comes to a man's look, 68% of women say they could care less about what his blank looks like. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking package, but you're wrong. It's his ass.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, if you guess his buttocks, correctamundo. But if you missed it, go see a doctor about your head trauma and get well soon. I'm out of here, gang. I've got lemons to squeeze until the juice runs down my leg. Led Zeppelin. But I do have one more thing for you. Did you know that a banana is considered to be a berry and a strawberry isn't?
I bet that confuses the hell out of you, doesn't it?
Oh, don't be ridiculous. But you know what? Let's try one on you, Alexa. Is a tomato biotonically a vegetable or a fruit?
While seeded vegetables, like tomatoes, are considered vegetables for culinary use, they are botanically fruits.
Wow. Check out the big brain on Alexa.
While seeded vegetables, like tomatoes, are considered vegetables for culinary use, they
Now-
are botanically fruits.
I get it. Now you're just showing off.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
At least I think with my brain and not my little head.
You don't have a little head. Say goodbye, Alexa.
Goodbye, Alexa.
All right, welcome to Rat Nation. Steve Harris, Norman, Oklahoma. Jason Bach of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Deborah Fraser from Bismarck, North Dakota. I almost said North Carolina. Patrick Duffy in Corvallis, Oregon. And around the world to listeners in Dublin, Ireland, Brazil, and in Stockholm, Sweden.
Now's your chance to be one of the few and the loud. Join Rat Nation at ratsasspodcast.com. Membership does have its rewards, you know.
And that's going to do it for this episode of the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go check out the Rat's Ass Podcast online to get the entire Rat's Ass Podcast experience. You can listen to Podcast Rock out to Rat's Ass Rock TV, read the blog that's loaded with hot topicality, plus you can still join Rat Nation without having to qualify, and connect with us on the socials too. We'll do this again on Monday, November 3rd. Take care of each other, and thanks again for stopping by the Rat's Ass Podcast. Go out there and have a safe and happy Halloween.
The conversation continues between podcasts on X and ratsasspodcast.com. ratsasspodcast.com.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you.